Okay, everyone, and welcome to the end of the week market wrap up with Stats Edge Trading. Make sure you're going to statsedgetrading.com, sign up for the email list so you get this video emailed directly to you so you won't miss it. Blog post, anything else I do throughout the week, just emailed right to your inbox. It's a Substack, so if you have the Substack app, you get notifications, everything there as well. So, weird week, right? Thursday off, short and Friday. Didn't do a midweek market wrap up on Wednesday because then I really wouldn't have anything to talk about today. So we're going to go into crypto, we're going to go into FX, we're going to go individual stocks for more of the softwares I use and all of that. Again, statsedgetrading.com. Without further ado, as always, wouldn't be a video if we didn't start looking here at Bitcoin. So it hasn't moved in the last 3 weeks, and we have some indecision going on here. So we finally made it over this resistance that I've been talking about for a while. We had those inside weeks. We came up here. What I really like about these candles, I love candlestick analysis because it's telling you what's happening on the lower time frame. But on the weekly chart, came back in, test the zone. Looks like it's pushing higher. Came back in, test the zone. Looks like it's pushing higher. I bought some Mara today. Just to get involved in this space. I mentioned before that I already have some Bitcoin from around 30,000 that I'm sitting at with a pretty decent profit. Just looking to add as things move higher, see if I can build a position. Now, we're a little bit overdone. We've got like 5-6 weeks green in a row, but I want to bring you back to this area right here in Bitcoin where we had maybe 10-15 weeks in a row up. So I wouldn't short because we're overdone. I'm just looking for lower time frame setups in order to make sure that I'm involved to the upside. I'm just bringing up my notes here. Ethereum still can't get going, can't get off the bed in Ethereum. So some massive underperformance here. And again, other than like Solana that's been looking good, Ethereum is one that I look at as my alts type of thing. Is this a Bitcoin rally or is it a crypto rally? And I think those two things are very important to note because a Bitcoin rally means Bitcoin is moving. So you should look at Bitcoin miners. You should look at stocks that benefit from Bitcoin. A crypto move means that you should take a look at cryptocurrency as a whole. So Ethereum really just can't get going over this range. So there's really nothing I can look at there. So into the currencies here, we're going to take a look at the Dixie continuation. I was watching this short right here. I took it on a shorter time frame. I really wish I held it longer. Was at a nice move and some continuation. Notice though that this candle is a little bit smaller, a little bit more like a spinning top than this candle above. Just saying, hey, things are a little bit might be calming down a bit, might be looking to rest after this big move down, which would also make sense for a rest in stocks, which we'll get to later. I look at the dollar index because the dollar index seems inversely correlated with stocks, at least right now. So we have Aussie CAD. This is one that I trade because I like that the both petro currencies and I'm trading them against each other. It's an interesting move. I've been bullish kind of from this area right here, which was prior resistance right there. I like this candle that poked under that point and then pushed higher. Now we're all the way up to the anchored view app from this last swing high. Struggled with it, so I wouldn't be shocked on dollar CAD to see a little bit of a push down here and then maybe some continuation higher after that. Because if you look at just the Aussie dollar has been really strong. So we finally broke out of this zone right here. So Aussie dollar has been strong, but Aussie CAD has been a little bit weak, just showing that the Canadian dollar is kind of really picking this up here. Yen is kind of interesting with this dragonfly doji. So dragonfly doji is kind of the same as a hammer candle. Looks like we broke under this zone right here and then retook it. So what the Bank of Japan seems to be doing is you'll notice these massive down spikes out of the blue if you're looking at the intraday chart on these currency pairs. But it's just met with buyers. People are just algorithms and people are just waiting for them to try to defend their currency and they're just taking it right back up again. So it's not really something that I would fight. I'm a little bit worried about just yen in general right now and staying away from a lot of it because it's they're fighting the Bank of Japan and they're winning. So that's a concern to me. Generally, you don't want to fight a central bank of a currency, but they seem to be fighting and winning. And what that's causing is these nice uptrends that get kind of completely reversed by a big slap down. So at some point, you got to imagine the bank may win, but we're starting to set up a kind of a cup and handle look. But so with that kind of risk and that dichotomy of what's going on, I'm not really interested in trading either side here. Gold is starting to look great again. We're above the anchored VWAP from this low. We bled down and retraced it. We came back in. I remember weeks ago on this video, I was talking about how I really wanted to pull back into this zone right here. We got that pullback and then we bounced from it. So it's exactly what I want to see. I am long a bunch of gold through some different instruments, looking to see if we can break this prior high and push higher, get above all of these highs that you can see right here. Then we could be off to the races in gold. So I'm pretty long gold here as well. Now, into trade ideas, into a new feature that's coming in trade ideas, which I actually like, where my ETF list here can be a tree map. So it's a very interesting look. They're adding in here as well that I'm testing. So the SPY is coming up to a massive important level. And this is a level that I've been talking about for some time here when it comes to the overall market. So this is where, oh, a little too far out. This level is where we broke down from the start of the bear market. We came back, we tested, we failed it, we sold off. We came back and tested again, we failed and we sold off, and now we're back to it again. My bet is going to be this time that we break, but we took a big move to come here to break. So a little bit of a pullback and then some continuation makes perfect sense to me, or some sort of rest or something like that. But just 1, 2, 3, big 4 up weeks in a row to hit that level, that makes me not super excited. And I do have some evidence behind this as well. So we have IWM that couldn't get going at all this week. You can see just inside yesterday's candle, little tiny weak. So small caps just couldn't get going at all. Insurance, KIE, which you would imagine is more of a risk off type instrument, that had a solid breakout in insurance right here. So nice breakout in insurance stocks. I know Aflac was one that I talked about last week, and I've talked about Trader TV. I own some of this one as well. It's been a pretty decent trade. My worry is with things like SMH, which has been a leader here with NVIDIA and semiconductors. A little bit of a topping candle here on the weekly chart. Big push up, came down, closed right at this level and closed at lows. Reverse hammer candle after 3 weeks up in a row. Relative weakness to the overall market on this candle has me a little bit nervous. We have XLU. So these are utilities coming up. You can see the lines that I drew here right to this low right here, which is also this low right here. So we've had those two lows go on right in this area, causing some issues in this zone. Next, we've also had XLRE, or real estate. Same kind of thing, right? If we draw this zone, let's draw this level in through here. We have come up into this level, and we have kind of hitting our head here with a small candle that couldn't really get going. Maybe real estate struggling a little bit. XBI, which is biotech, same type of thing. We have a zone that's just hanging out right in this area. Just draw this in, put this in. You can see the same thing, this zone that's coming in here over and over and over again. We keep hitting our head on this overhead resistance. And then TLT, same. So TLT, I drew this out. You can see this low right here. Bounced up. Now we're hitting it. We put in a reversal candle off of this level in the weekly chart. All of this is saying that maybe rates aren't done going down and rates are going to continue higher if we do have this resistance here. Obviously not a good thing for stocks. URA continued breakout. The strength in uranium is certainly apparent. Really strong. I'm glad I own some uranium names. We got to see what's happening if we're going to hit this $30-ish level here in uranium. And then UNG. UNG just lessened. This is why I'm always looking for strength, and I'm generally not buying weakness, because all the way down here. I remember even back in the 20s, people saying, hey, when do I buy natural gas? And then, in the tens, when do I buy natural gas? And then in, the low tens and five, where do I buy natural gas? Who knows? Could we bounce off this support and break out? Maybe. I would be looking for that, a nice push down under support and then a retake of it. That might be a place to take a shot, but I'm just not seeing anything right here that's super interesting to me. Now to get into the price alerts. I generally try to, in the midweek videos too, even though I don't go over all of them, include them in the email. So make sure you're going to statsedgetrading.com, sign up for the free email there. ELF, nice little breakout here. Bought some of this today, actually, as we closed above this zone. Looking to see if we get a continuation here. AFL, I already talked about. Nice breakout, some good continuation there. And Duolingo, I'm in as well. So some things that I've added today. Blink charging is one that's still very interesting to me. We're looking for the anchored VWAP from this level right here. Or you can also draw it from the all-time lows. I like to grab these because it's a trend change. I'm not buying the dip. What I'm doing is I'm waiting for the bottom pickers to come in. I'm waiting for it to come back and kind of hang out at that level, showing that people they're sad that they missed the initial pop and they're buying in at a higher price than the all-time lows. And if we start to push up from here, I like the look of blink charging. One thing that's got me really excited is this nearly 30% short float in blink charging. Beyond Meat has the same story. Tiger, Uptech, same story I'm looking at. ENTB, this is a new one. Same idea, right? Every time I'm grabbing these reversals, it's kind of the same thing. You're anchoring a VWAP from the low. You're bouncing up off that, showing some maybe buying to reverse the trend. But as opposed to chasing that up, I'm waiting for it to come back and establish that, yes, there is buyers at a higher price than the low. Because if we imagine, trends happen like this, lower highs and lower lows. So if we're in a downtrend, I can either start buying on this downtrend and hoping things go up, or I can wait for a bounce and then a retest to make see this again. So a bounce and then a retest to make a higher low. And then if it starts to coil up, right, there's my entry, there's my stop loss. If I'm right and this downtrend is over, then getting into the first sign of a new uptrend is what I'm after. AI, I had this one on last week, but I think it's worth noting this week. This is why I generally wait for the close to enter my swing trades. I generally don't trade them on the open because I had this nice pop up here, and then they announced some news firing people or something, and it crashed horribly. But it continues to hit 30. So there's some buyers that are pushing it up to 30, and then it rejects 30, and then it hits 30 and rejects 30. So this is why I generally wait for the close. So I didn't get involved in AI at all. There was no harm, no foul there. So if it can get and close above $30, I'm interested here. Last but not least, just this pizza chart. So Domino's, we have the same type of setup. This is a good setup that I found a lot this week that I'm going to play going into next week. Big push up, nice pullback, going to see if some continuation there. That's if the market turns and pushes higher. But for all the reasons I stated earlier, I'm a little bit worried about the market. It's why I'm not chasing breakouts. I'm actually buying pullbacks because I think the market's a little bit overextended and could pull back as well. So I want to find things that if the market's holding back are holding these major anchored VWAPs, and then when they start to push higher, that is when I will get involved. So thanks everyone for coming by. Thanks for spending your part of your holiday, I guess, with me. Not many people obviously trading on Fridays. Get away from the screen, and I'll talk to you next week where there'll certainly be more videos as we'll be back into normal trading.